Hello there, Hedera builders and new developers, and everyone just starting their journey with Hedera. So, I want to personally welcome you and congratulate you on taking this first step. It's a great choice. Hedera has a vibrant and supportive community, and by being here, you're becoming part of its growth. So, welcome aboard, everyone. And I hope you're all doing well. Wherever you are, maybe sipping your coffee or maybe tuning in while commuting, wherever you are. What an amazing moment that in this live session, people are joining from all over the world, across different time zones and cultures. So, all here together in one stream. So, let me say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. And I wanted to kick off this opening ceremony. This is Hedera Hello Future Ascension. This is the chapter 2 of our Hedera Trilogy 2025 Hackathon. Okay, so without further delays, I will want to welcome our speaker for tonight today, who will be giving us an opening remark. Ed is an engineer and a marketer with deep expertise in advanced vehicle technology, model based design or MBDE, and distributed ledger technologies or DLT. He thrives on leading interdisciplinary teams, creating user focused solutions, and building connections with developers and organizations across the tech space. So currently at HashGraph, Ed focuses on growing the Hedera network and helping developers navigate the Web3 ecosystem. He also holds a graduate degree in management from Harvard. What a smart dude, right? Okay, I'm giving this stage to you, Ed.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Darlene, for that warm welcome. And hello, everybody, to these opening ceremonies for the Hello Future Ascension Hackathon. Super excited to have you all here. And I'm very curious to see where you're all dialing in from and participating in from. So take that invitation from Darlene and let us know where you're seeing this tonight, this morning, or this afternoon. All right. So I do want to start with a bit of an inspirational presentation and explain why Hedera and maybe explore some of the myths around this technology of Web3. And so I want to start with this quote from Chris Dixon that is inspired by the innovators dilemma, right? And the quote goes, the reason big new things sneak incumbents is that those next big things often start looking like toys or being dismissed as toys. And it's quite interesting to see that, right? Because that has happened to multiple technologies that are core to how we operate today. You know, some of my favorite examples are personal computers. That also happened to gaming consoles, and even the internet was dismissed in the same manner in its early days. And oftentimes we make those mistakes of dismissing these big things as toys because we don't fully understand the value of those technologies. And so today I want to explore the value of distributed ledger technologies, the value of Web3, and why you should be so inspired and excited to build on a network like Hedera, right? Because I see Hedera as a trust layer of the digital economy, not only because of that secure, stable, highly performant technology, but also because of its institutional grade, its enterprise grade, and stable governance, and also all of its compliance features. So it's a technology that is ready to be adopted for future use cases and for current use cases. And so, yes, this way you have a foundation where you can build your use cases that will power those decentralized applications for all kinds of industries, including regulated industries. So let's explore some of the values of this technology, because that's where the value resides, is in the problems that a technology solves. And today, a key problem that we have is that data exists in siloed systems, right? And that means that it can be altered, it can be lost, or it can be selectively disclosed. And with DLTs like Hedera, with blockchain technology like Hedera, what you have is a tamper-proof and verifiable data record, right? So that is very useful in environments like supply chain, ESG, compliance, or cross-organizational workflows where data integrity and auditability are key requirements. And of course, the traditional systems struggle a little bit to guarantee those type of requirements without third-party oversight. So here, the third-party oversight gets shifted to cryptography and math in these distributed systems. Also, we know today that digital assets, they can be copied, they can be forged. You can even dispute their real, record of those digital assets, because the internet today doesn't really have an internet native way to, prove the originality or the ownership of those digital assets. And so as we know with NFTs, as we know with Web3 and blockchain, we have this digital uniqueness. Now we have scarcity in the digital realm, which is something that we've been able to only have in the past 15 years or so. And so whether the content is your identity or credentials or financial instruments, now we have this internet native way and mechanism to enforce that digital ownership without having to rely on a centralized platform. Another key problem and value proposition of this technology is the fact that moving money around the world and enforcing financial logic has been slow, it's been expensive, and it's full of intermediaries. I mean, if you want an example, try sending a wire transfer overseas. And the value that this technology brings, that blockchains like Hedera bring here, is the frictionless and programmable value transfers. So now with this internet of value, those assets can flow like software. Value moves like information. So DLTs actually unlock use cases like subscriptions, like pay-per-use, like royalties, and even machine-to-machine commerce. So it's very exciting to see those frictions reduced for these value transfer workflows. And I would say another problem is that we tend to rely today on centralized entities to enforce agreements. And of course, that introduces friction, costs, and risks because we're, again, placing trust on a third party. And so with distributed ledgers and blockchains like Hedera, we can replace that institutional trust with protocol enforced guarantees. So, when a dispute arises, then again, you're trusting on a system that is backed by math and cryptography and that is distributed and no one party can actually control. And so last week in our pre-hackathon workshop, one of the favorite questions that I received was, who's actually building on Hedera? Why should I, care, and why should I build also on Hedera? And I want to show you just a handful of the key use cases that we're seeing. I would say one of my favorite ones is what Equity Lab, NVIDIA, and Intel are doing with verifiable compute, right? And so they're bringing the assurances and the verifiable records powered by Hedera as close as possible to the compute that happens in the chips, so that you can have those verifiable logs and verifiable records for inference in AI, for instance. Another great example is the use case that we're seeing with Hyundai and Kia, where they have that comprehensive end-to-end supply chain emissions tracking and reduction system that is using the Hedera consensus service and also the Guardian. And another excellent example is what Aberdeen and Archax are doing, tokenizing real-world assets, paper assets, including money market funds, and so much more. So that speaks to the institutional interest that we're seeing for this technology. And there's so much more. I'm not going to go through all of these, but you can find more information about each one of these on Hedera. And it's not only the institutional use cases, right? That's fantastic to have, but there's also use cases for data integrity. There's Web3 use cases, things in consumer loyalty and engagement, sustainability, and so much more. So in addition to the technology, here's one of the reasons why I love Hedera so much, which is its vibrant ecosystem. It's great for institutions, it's great for small projects, it's great for individuals, and so much more. And here you see some additional community projects as well. So huge shout out to all those builders who are part of this amazing ecosystem. Now, we've spoken a little bit about the stable governance, we've spoken about the vibrant ecosystem, and of course, we have to speak about the incredible technology. If you want to deep dive on this, you have to check out that pre-hackathon workshop that we had last week, where we went into the technology stack in depth, all the services, how to start using them, some of the tools that you have available to you. I want to keep this session today high level, But if this is the first time that you're seeing Hedera, I want to explain to you the different layers of the technology stack, where everything starts with the core technology, which is that hash graph consensus algorithm. And so today, Hedera is very unique and very amazing in the sense that it uses a graph, a cyclic graph to arrive at consensus and reach that consensus. But then we're in the process of creating what is called block streams and block nodes. And so think of it as a hash graph helping come to consensus very quickly, but the entire output of the chain is a blockchain or a chain of blocks, just the way that you're familiar with things and with other distributed ledgers. And so here at this part of the technology, or at this stack or portion of the stack, is where you have the Hedera APIs and mirror nodes. So the Hedera APIs are for the consensus nodes that are optimized to come to consensus very quickly. The mirror nodes have the responsibility of archiving that state and that history so that the consensus nodes can go very, very fast. Now, if we move up the stack, that's where you have the Hedera services. So the primary ones are services for consensus, for tokenization, and for smart contracts. In terms of smart contracts, I just want to remind you that Hedera is EVM compatible. So everything that you can do on an EVM chain like Ethereum, you can do on Hedera with more security, faster, and cheaper as well. And so if you want that programmability and all that flexibility of smart contracts, there you can continue using those tools like Hardhat, Foundry, Ethers, VM, and all the other ones that you're familiar with from the EVM world. Now, there's more that you can explore on Hedera. For example, we have this consensus service. I always like to think of it as consensus as a service or timestamping as a service, where you can create immutable and auditable logs. So you can also think of it as a decentralized messaging bus that allows you to have those auditable and immutable records of transactions. And of course, there's the token service that allows you to tokenize anything from software licenses to shoes to carbon assets to digital instruments, all without having to go through smart contracts. Now, if that's the path that you prefer, you have smart contracts available. But if you're coming from the Java world, JavaScript, Go, Python, C++, or Swift, or Rust, then you have SDKs available to you to be able to do all those Web3 things without having to learn a new programming paradigm. And of course, on top of those services, you have toolings or tools for devs that are available for you to build those applications. We talked about mirror nodes. So you also have mirror node explorers that allow you to visualize your activity, your transactions, entities, and so much more. You have EVM libraries that we talked about. Also JSON RPC nodes to connect to Hedera as if it was any other EVM chain. And of course, the SDKs that make it really easy to access those services that we talked about. And then with that tooling, that's where you can leverage, with that tooling is how we build these studios or these applications that are meant to help you accelerate your development. So you have Asset Tokenization Studio, which allows you to issue or tokenize any asset in a matter of days or hours, as opposed to weeks and months. Also, the Stablecoin Studio for the purpose of issuing stablecoins, and AI Studio, which is a collection of tools and SDKs for agentic development and AI, and also the Sustainability Studio, which is also called the Guardian, which is your workflow policy engine for anything that relates to tokenizing, managing, and deprecating carbon assets throughout their life cycle. That is the foundation. So those first 4 layers of the stack are the foundation that allow you to build, as developers, build those applications that are going to deliver value to society. So whether you're building on AI, on IoT, on tokenization and DeFi, or any other vertical, that's the technology that you have available to you. And so remember the tracks that Charlene is going to get into, because all of these tools are going to be very relevant to the tracks that you decide to pursue as part of the hackathon. All right, so these are the services that I mentioned before. Again, the token service to tokenize things natively, the consensus service to create those immutable records, and then the smart contract service that gives you that EVM compatibility that is so valuable for powerful and decentralized workflows through smart contracts. All right, so I do want to get into a few of the myths, because you might still be new to Web3. You might be thinking, is this thing real? Is this thing here to stay? Is it for just cryptocurrencies? And this is one of the most common myths that I've run into, right? That Web3 equates or is equal to cryptocurrencies. And what I would argue here is that cryptocurrencies are just one component of a much larger vision, right? Because cryptocurrencies are that native way to exchange value in these distributed ledgers. But there is a much larger vision, right? And that larger vision is what enables those use cases in areas like supply chain, payments, finance, AI, data integrity, and so much more. And so when you hear somebody say, oh, this Web3 or crypto thing is just for cryptocurrency, I invite you to help that person reflect and share some of those use cases that we're seeing around the tokenization of real world assets, around AI, tokenization of intellectual property, of real estate, gaming use cases, and so much more. So cryptocurrency is the tip of the iceberg. Another quick myth is, you might be thinking, if you're coming especially from a traditional software development, that was the case in my case. I was coming from enterprise software development and also embedded software development, where all that software was ultimately going to end up deployed in hardware. But fortunately, very early on, I understood that Web3 is not all or nothing, right? Like, you don't have to throw away the work that you've done before in Web2 or with your Web2 tools to embrace these decentralized components and workflows within your applications. And so here you can see, a comparison of your very simplified, very traditional architectures, where in Web2 you have a front end, a load balancer, a back end that may have file storage and a database. And you can see how that maps here in the Web3 landscape, right? Where you have a wallet, a signer that connects to your front end, connects that to your blockchain, and you may have decentralized file storage or a peer-to-peer database, and your blockchain is your engine for the records or the transactions and operations that you're performing in your application. Now, yeah, the truth or the counter to that myth that I would explain is that Web3 is indeed very compatible with those traditional technologies. I mentioned that Hedera actually has the most SDKs out of any other distributed ledger in the market. We have SDKs that make it very easy for you to start with Java, JavaScript, Go, Rust, Python, C++, and Swift. And so, whether you're coming from embedded software development or front-end development, very easy to get started with Hedera tools. And I recommend checking, again, that workshop that we did last week on how to get started and how to start developing with Hedera, the developer playground, the contract builder, and AI agent kits. All right, and finally, the other myth that I want to cover here is that thought that Web3 may not be ready for mainstream adoption. In the previous slide, I mentioned that Web3 is not all or nothing, right? You can always gradually add new layers of functionality, and that's how we've seen the internet be built, right? Like there wasn't an entire protocol that just came and conquered the market. It was an addition of different protocols and different layers that gave us the internet as we know it today. And I think it's the same thing with Web3. It's components and aspects and functionality that you layer on top of your existing applications to make them more robust, more decentralized, more accessible, and more secure and more transparent. So, for those who think that maybe Web3 is not ready for mainstream adoption, I would propose the use case of the tokenization of everything, where we're going to see digital assets, real world assets, and so much more being represented or tokenized in these distributed ledgers. Also, with distributed ledgers, we have NFTs and ways to engage customers in ways that we didn't have available to us before, ways to prove digital ownership and enforce digital scarcity. Of course, I would say in the past year, we've seen a significant amount of institutional interest, and financial interest for the purpose of tokenization, for the purpose of making the traditional financial system more transparent, more efficient, and more scalable. And of course, you have technologies like decentralized recovery, or DREC, which allows us to recover secrets in a more decentralized and trustless way. And I think this is one of those huge innovations that is going to have an impact in the future. All right, so yeah, Web3 is already here and it just keeps growing daily. So finally, the truth with which I want to leave you is Web3 is ready for you, right? It's the opportunity for us all to take ownership of that online experience. And it's about building that better internet for all of you, for all of us. So I want to leave you with these numbers, right? Connecting again with what is Hedera by the numbers, and what has been done to date. So an incredible amount of transactions live on the mainnet, over 71.5 billion transactions. Hedera is also very scalable with over 10,000 plus transactions a second. Um, Many applications live in production today. You saw those different projects and those different use cases at the start of this presentation. We have millions of active accounts and also users. Now, those accounts could be users, IoT devices, and so much more. And we have millions of those on the testnet, which is a very healthy trajectory for the usage and adoption of the network. Also, over 500,000 active accounts. And then we have tens of thousands of developers just like you coming to join us in in-person hackathons, virtual events, virtual hackathons, active on our Discord, active in our ecosystem, checking out our community calls and engaging with us in so many different ways. And so with that, I want to leave you, hopefully you're inspired, excited, energized to take on these challenges that are being made available to you throughout the hackathon. And don't forget about the resources as well, like your mentors and all the technical materials that you'll have available to tackle all of these challenges in the specific tracks that are available in the hackathon. So with that, I'll pass it back to Charlene, and would love to hear some more details about what's available here in the hackathon.
Great. Thank you so much for that, Ed. This is really an insightful opening ceremony. And it's just an opening ceremony. You actually have addressed the meat, you have clarified it all. And this is quite a quick run through of what Hedera has, the SDKs that are available, and that yes, Web3 is not just for crypto. All right, now we'll get into the topics that we'll cover. So definitely we had an opening ceremony by our smarty man here, Ed Marquez. And the next, I will be running you through the hackathon timeline and important key dates, the 6 main tracks of Ascension, which is exciting, and 5 side quests, plus the resources and mentors that Ed just mentioned a while back, and the submission artifacts and judging criteria. Okay, so what do we have with the Hedera Ascension timeline? Okay, so for the workshops, we have live workshops. This is not just pre-recorded, this is live workshops. And what is great about live workshop is that you can ask your questions live. And when we have actually we always have time at the end of the workshop whereby you can ask your questions on the thread. Right. Okay. So live workshops will be coming soon by November 5, which will tackle AI. That is 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Workshop number 2 will happen on November 12th, which will tackle DPIN and IoT. That will happen at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And then we also have live AMA sessions. We call it as mentors anything, really anything. But of course, be appropriate, right? It needs to be based on your tracks, or it needs to be on your build or your projects. So during the AMA, we'll be having some forms that mentors will be tackling, and those forms are the questions that will be coming from the participants, and I'll be sharing a bit more about that later. So the AMA will happen on November 7, 10 a.m. again, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Next is AMA 2, 13th of November. AMA 3, 18th of November. That is 10 a.m. Eastern Time. There is quite a lot of AMAs. We really wanted to connect with our developers and our participants one-on-one. Okay, so please make sure to attend all this. And the hackathon period is from November 3 to November 21st, 2025. And please take note of our submission deadline. So this is only until 21st of November, 11:59 Eastern Time. We don't usually extend the submission deadline, so please make sure that you're on the ball based on our submission deadline. Okay, Next is the judging and winners announcement. So after 21st, on the 22nd of November, we will start our judging until the 20th of December. And then you will ask me why it's only until 20th of December. It is because, of course, we're taking the holiday into consideration. Let's give the team some time to enjoy their holidays, and of course, our participants' holiday as well. And then we'll be back stronger and refreshed on the 12th of January, hopefully, to announce our winners. So right here on your screen, you would see a QR code. Well, actually, there were two QR codes that I'm seeing right now, and I get that you're also seeing it. So please check the larger or the bigger QR code. That is your calendar for Ascension. What's going to happen is once you click that and you scan that QR code, the calendar for the Ascension will automatically sync on your calendar, which is very helpful and handy, so that when we have any upcoming live sessions, we have workshops, or we have AMAs, your calendar will help you be reminded. Okay, and now go to the next slide. We have an overview of the whole hackathon. It's very simple. It happens on one portal only, which is a hackathon page and the submission portal. So please scan this. And if you want to type and work hard, you can also type it out, which I typed there, but it's a bit small. So please just scan it for your convenience. All right. So that's once again the hackathon page and the submission portal. Next is Discord. This is our main communication channel. Everyone is here. Your team should be here. Hedera's team is there. All the mentors are there. Angel Hack, as the organizing team, also has a very robust team who's supporting at the back end. So please reach us out. And for anyone who's listening here, and I owe you a response because we have communicated via direct message. I owe you my response. And I'm trying to duplicate myself as much as I can and as many as I can to reach out to you all personally. So I'll be doing that, okay? I owe you a response, but I do see you. I do read you. Okay, next is our official time zone. Just to make sure that we're all aligned, we are following Eastern time. All right, so please recalibrate your watches. And then, for example, you can see some calendar invites. It is definitely on Eastern time. Okay, finally, we're now gonna tackle the Ascension tracks. So, if you can see, if you're from Origins, right, you would see that you can still see the same tracks we have here. But in my next slides, I'm going to show you what is the twist. Okay, let me tackle the three first Ascension tracks we have here. First is AI and agents. Well, you need to build an AI agent using Hedera tools like Elisa, Agent Kit, and OpenCon AI. Next is DeFi and tokenization. So please create a financial apps with Hedera's token, service, and smart contracts. Next is sustainability, our famous Hedera Guardian to build solutions for climate, DeFi, and social impacts. Next, this is a new track, and I bet this is new because some of you have requested for this track last time, and it's here. It's finally here. We have the Edge and IoT infrastructure, or DPIN. Build decentralized system where devices, energy networks, and sensors coordinate securely, leveraging Hedera's speed and low-cost microtransactions for IoT, smart grids, digital twins, and deep-in solutions, bridging the digital and physical world. All right. For the next one, we have an open track. So, for example, you wanted to build something, but it doesn't fit right in any of the categories or any of the tracks that I just mentioned a while back. Well, this track is for you. This is for innovators pushing boundaries, creating something unconventional, or exploring new concepts and showcase groundbreaking ideas. So please submit your tracks under open track. And lastly, our favorite is the legacy builders. Why do we have this? So these are for the past participants, including the origin builders that just happened last time. We do welcome you to refine and improve your projects. And if you do so, please make sure that your project refinement and improvement will be within the hackathon period, which is from November 3 until November 21st, because we don't want to waste your effort into submitting something that might not be eligible for judging. All right. Now, this is the surprise. And Ascension brings you a track upgrade. And yep, once again, surprise. So this track, such as the AI and agents, DeFi and tokenization, sustainability, and IoT or DePIN, I would like to let you know that we are welcoming 40 plus winners. I'll repeat that again, 40 plus winners from 12 main track winners from Origins. We're welcoming more winners now for our main tracks only. It doesn't even include our side tracks. I will go to that later. But yes, we have 40 winners for Ascension. And why so? Why there's a lot of winners? Because each track that I just mentioned, AI and agents, DeFi tokenization, sustainability, IoT, and DePIN, it is divided into three problem statements, or rather, we put in three problem statements in each of these tracks. So first, the main track problem statement. You can just submit a project for the main track you've chosen. So, for example, you've chosen AI and agents, and you don't want to tackle any problem statement that belongs to basic and intermediate problem statement. Then just please submit it under the main problem statement. Next one is the basic problem statement. This is the easier one. This is very ideal for beginners who want to participate without tackling the most advanced challenges, such as the main track problem or tackling intermediate. So, everyone, please, you're all welcome to submit under basic problem statement if you are just a beginner. But if you are already a senior developer who is building on Hedera, I would encourage you to take main problem statement or this intermediate problem statement. So this is participants ready to tackle more advanced challenges than the basic level and focus on solving a specific problem. You want to see that? Please go ahead and register on our hackathon listing, and that hackathon is already live right now. I'll be sharing the hackathon page once again later, but let me just tackle all of these slides first. Next, oh, Charlene, what are the prizes? We have 138,000 USD prize pool just for the main tracks. I'm so sorry that my indent for the prize breakdown is not so good, but yes, this is 138,000 USD. And this is divided, I will just tackle the first three first, okay? The AI and agents with a total of 24,500. So this is distributed among three grand winners. Same thing, we have first place, second place, third place. First place wins 10,000, 6,000, 4,000. And because we have the basic problem statement, we will choose three best submission winners to receive $500. Imagine that. Isn't it a good amount? Next is an intermediate. So if you want to tackle the problem statement for intermediate, there's also three best submission winners of 1,000 USD each. So this is for AI and agents, DeFi and tokenization, and sustainability. Now, we have a bit of a change for our edge and IoT infrastructure, or DPIN. So the total amount is still 24,500, with the first place winning 10,000, second place winning 6,000, third place winning 4,000. For the easy round, or for the beginners problem statement, there will be three best winners once again that will win 500 each. Now, for intermediate of edge and IoT infrastructure, we only have two winners. The first place will win 2,000. The second place will win 1,000. Why is it so? Because the problem statement, if you visit our hackathon page or Ascension's page, it is more advanced than intermediate. So it doesn't fall under intermediate category, but we wanted our developers to tackle this. Okay, so once again, we only have two winners for the intermediate problem statement under Edge and IoT infrastructure. All right. Lastly is for the open track and the legacy builders. The prizes are at 20,000 distributed among three grand winners. So we have first place at 10,000, Second place is 6,000. Third place at 4,000. Great, right? So if you want to count how many winners is that, we have around 41 to 42 winners. So please join. Okay, now I know that this is quite small, but I'm hoping that everyone can read this because what's exciting about our side quest is we also have given it a twist. So the first side quest, we entitle it "Prove Your Hash Graph Skills." That means if you have a certification for building on Hedera course, please submit that and submit it together with one of your on-chain activities. So definitely you have done something into the Hedera Explorer, right? So please put that in and let us know that, hey, this is the proof of my on-chain activity. And you know what? You're going to share an amount of 2,000 USD in the prize pool. And the first 100 individual who will complete both action will qualify. Right. Okay, if you wanted to participate into side quests, you need to be a registered Ascension participant. So please register as a participant. All right. Next, side quest 2. I love this side quest. Why? Because this is about As Mentors Anything challenge. Why is it so? I understand that it is such an opportunity to talk to your mentors one on one, having that opportunity to get their expertise to help you refine your project, give improvement suggestion is such a great opportunity for everyone. So, apart from that, you already talk to your mentors, it's free. And on top of that, you will also earn rewards. Isn't it amazing? So, this challenge has three categories. First is a challenge for individuals. Just submit at least one thoughtful question for the mentors. Next is, of course, attend the live AMA session. I promise it will be worth it. And the reward for that is an NFT. Yes, an NFT for the first challenge on an individual level. Next, we go to the second challenge. This is challenge for teams. What do you need to do? Of course, you have to attend the live AMA session once again and have a one-on-one consultation with your mentor as a team. Once again, this is as a team, not an individual. So, for example, there are five of you in the teams and you wanted to consult one of your mentors. Please go as a team, but this will only count as one reward because the reward of $40 is per team. Okay, and this applies to the first 50 teams. Next one, this is exciting. We have put in a bonus raffle. So please complete step 1 and step 2 from the individual challenge, which means submit a question to any of the AMA sessions, attend any AMA sessions as well, and you will be eligible for the raffle entry. What are you going to win? There are 5 lucky winners of 200 USD dollars just by showing up and just by submitting a question. Isn't it amazing, right? You'll learn from the mentors, you'll talk to them, and you will earn a prize. Isn't it great? Okay, now I go to side quest 3. We call it Ascension Hackathon Promotion Challenge. So please share and inspire others. How are you going to participate? Post on any of your socials, perhaps LinkedIn, X, maybe Facebook if you're using that, or Instagram. And then just include the Ascension Hackathon link to invite your friends, saying that, hey, I'm participating in the hackathon, in the Hedera Hello Future Ascension Hackathon with your friends and with your network. And when we see that you also use the hashtag Hedera Hackathon, Hello Future Ascension, submit it with a screenshot and submit the link to that post. You will share a reward of 2,000, get a share of reward of 2,500. Right. It's very easy. Next one, what is the side quest for? We have the Hackathon Referral Challenge because we don't want this opportunity to miss your friends as well, right? So if you have any networks that wanted to join the hackathon, please feel free and you will get rewarded by just referring them. So the total reward we have here is 3,000 USD. So earn 30,000 by being among the first 100 individuals to refer a team that submits a valid hackathon submission. So of course there's a bit of a challenge. So apart from referring a friend, you would also need to make sure that this friend or this new team will submit a valid submission. And by just submitting us the team representative's full name of your referral and their team name, you'll be eligible of the prize. Okay, next is Side Quest 5. This is not available until the mid November because why do we have this Side Quest 5 and why are we rewarding you? It is because your feedback about your hackathon experience is very important for us. This will help us shape the next programs that will be really something important for our developers and that will tackle all the needs that you have. So please send us your genuine feedback about how you feel about the hackathon. And with that, you'll win a share of 1,500 USD if you submit it. But once again, the URL to this feedback form will only be available mid-November. So we are sure that you already have gained enough experience before we give you this form and before you give us a feedback. Right. Next, exciting mentors. Mentors will be the same as origins, but we have added at least two more wonderful mentors. So we have AI and agents. We have Michael, Jay, Aegis, and Luke. So these are the people that you need to tag. For example, you have a question on Discord. Once again, everyone communicates on Discord. You have a question, and it's particularly for AI and agents. Please tag these people, okay? Please tag our experts. Once again, Michael, Jake, Aegis, and Luke. Next is for DeFi and tokenization. We have Kiran, we have Nadine, we have Michael once again, and we also have Luke once again. What a wonderful people of really just having this genuine passion to help our participants, right? So please tag them on Discord if you need any help. And you can also schedule a one on one session with them during the AMAs. Our space during the AMA offers you a private place whereby you and your mentors can talk, your team and your mentors can talk. Next, sustainability, we have Giuseppe, Ed, and Luke. For IoT and DPIN, we have Michael and we have Luke. For open tracks, our wild card, this is for Jake, Ed, Luke, and Kieran. So please tag these mentors if you have any questions about your open track or your wild track submission. Next is legacy builders. Can you see that? We have 7 people for legacy builders. Why? Because we wanted to support and give a great support for our returners. So if you already have your ongoing project with Hedera, please approach our wonderful mentors for the legacy builders, and they can help you shape your projects well, and they can help you improve it. Okay. Next, what are the submission artifacts? It's very important to note that these 4 submission artifacts are essential for you to be eligible of any prize or for you to be eligible of being judged. First is we need your project GitHub repo link. And what we need to see is, of course, the commits or the history within November 3 to November 21st. If this is something that you work on the last time and you didn't do any improvement, we didn't see any commits during the hackathon period, you will not be eligible for that submission. So please help us submit your project GitHub repo within the hackathon period. Next is a project detail. Of course, all the project need to have a great project detail. So in one glance, in one reading, you would be able to know that, oh, hey, this is the project that they are building. And it's easier for the judges, for the reviewers to see what are you trying to pitch for. And of course, a strong pitch deck in PDF. Okay, listen to me, guys. You have to upload it in PDF. And this pitch deck is also very important for our judges to know what is the idea of the whole build or what is this project about. So please pitch your ideas very well. And should be on a PDF form. Okay, next is the project demo link. Yep. So all these four are the most important and essential project or submission artifacts. So please take note of that. All right. Next is the judging criteria. Still the same as origins. Innovation is 10%. Feasibility is 10%. Execution is 20%. Integration is 15%. Validation is 15%. Success is 20%. And lastly, your pitch is 10%. Oh, maybe you ask me, what is next? November 5, once again, is our live workshop with Jay Call. So he's going to tackle about AI. And the next thing is the most exciting part, the first AMA session of Ascension. All right. So, what is this QR code? This big QR code at the bottom. This is a calendar so that you can sync the schedule of Ascension event into your own calendar so you don't need to worry about the time zone, converting it into your own local time zone. It's very easy. Once you subscribe to this calendar, it will automatically remind you of the upcoming sessions. All right. I think that is that. That's all what I have. And what I would want to say is push limits, build, refine, and ascend your projects. We can do this, okay? And we are here at the back end just to help you. We will try our best to help you on Discord. Please contact us on Discord, okay? Now, Ed, would you want to give some closing remarks?
Well, Charlene, all I can say is about how excited I feel for the hackers, how excited I am, also from the mentor side to see this opportunity come to fruition once more, right? Because we certainly want to see hackers building on Hedera, building and adopting Web3 technologies. And I can tell you that all the mentors are super excited to engage with you in those AMA sessions, in those one-on-one conversations to help guide and orient your ideas and your implementation. And so, just a reminder, like I said in the previous workshop, take advantage of this opportunity, take advantage of these resources. And I love what you said, push the limits, build, refine those solutions if you're coming back and ascend those projects. And we're here and happy to help.
Right. Okay, let me just close this with my famous good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you once again for tuning in and joining this opening ceremony. We love that you were here and thank you so much for your time and effort. We appreciate you all. Let's continue communicating. Join Discord. Thank you, everyone. Have a great one.
Thank you, Charlene. Thank you, everyone. Have
Thank
fun.
you, Ed.